Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for coming in to Let's Talk Real Talk with Miss Lady Hale. Today it's Monday. What's the day? Oh, you can hear me talking in the background. I had to put my phone down. And I wanted you guys to know that this weekend we're going to have another domestic violence conference. Niecy Hamilton is one of the speakers. I'm one of the speakers. So we're still focusing on domestic violence this month. And I had the privilege and the honor to meet this great lady on Saturday. She and I were on a panel together. I showed you guys, shared a few of her video with you guys. So I just want to say, Miss Liz, how you go by Liz or what did you go
Yes,
by?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I
Lizzie
go by
Bear.
Liz.
I love Lizzie Bear. I love Lizzie Bear. And she goes by, she has an amazing, I don't want to say testimony. It calls her to be a great activist in our community. So she read a letter. I'm a bring some people in first. I want to make sure we get everybody because I want everybody to hear your story. And not only that, we still want to support you and we would like to take up some money for your effort in what you're doing because I
Thank
totally,
you.
totally believe in what you are doing. And the reason I believe in supporting you is because what you're doing it from your heart. That's the part I like. It is coming from your heart. So the other day, which we were on the platform together, you had the panel, you had wrote a letter. It was like a letter that was coming from a child. And can you me and you kind of talked about that earlier. Why did you want to speak from a child's perspective instead of the adult?
Well, I've spoke a couple of times, kind of told my story different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But as an adult, but I wanted it to come from the child. I wanted you to see what that child went through at such a
Mm-hmm.
young age, rather
Mm-hmm.
than an adult telling you what as a child what they went through. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
see what the child goes through.
Okay, okay. And by you speaking from that perspective, have you seen more results, or it's about even when you speak from the child's perspective, or you telling them from the adult side? Which have you had more response, or is it about even?
I think it's a lot better response from the child view. I actually have my third book that I'm working on right now is from the child's view.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And is your book, let me ask you, is your book what age level can we start maybe if we purchase that book from a for a child to be able to basically able to read your book? About what age group? Is it elementary friendly or which group ages or it doesn't?
Well, my first book is a workbook, so it's something that it's some poems from my journaling that I've put together, and on the right side you can journal along with me. um,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of open up on your story as well. So I would say probably about 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they're able to write, they're able to journal. Journaling is the best healing thing. I have done it, and I always encourage other people to journal. But my
Okay.
second book that's fixing to go into production is going to actually be a children's book.
Okay. 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 And let me ask you, for as the children's book, when you say it interacts, does it um help them tell what actually happened to them, or is
Yes.
it for them or for them to forgive themselves or be able to help to forgive the abuser? Because I hear a lot of people say uh you don't give the offender for them, you forgive them for yourself so you can move
Right.
on. Am I correct?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So I love the idea about your workbook. And we have Mr. Jeremiah Rankin, which is a therapist here. in the state of Texas. He's our board president, and he's a therapist. And one of the key things he always teach our youth is about journaling and talking. So I really love that aspect. So we'll go ahead, and if you want to read your letter, because I posted some of your story, I didn't post the
Okay.
whole part because as you were talking, I had to stop the video and take a breath and then restart over. But I am so proud of you, and so blessed that we do have you here. And when you were telling your story about how your foster mother was saying how ugly you were, and then I'm like, I don't know what she was. I see what I'm looking at. You're a beautiful person. You have a
Thank
beautiful
you.
smile. You have a beautiful attitude.
Thank you.
Everything. When we all first met, it's just like we all clicked together. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
all were just able to work together. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you read the letter, and then
Okay.
I'm still sharing it in other groups, and I'm asked, while you're doing that, and I'll be
Okay.
commenting for you, Miss Liz, and I'm gonna put your
Okay.
information at the bottom. And if you get a chance, type your Cash App in, and I'll post it up here for you, Miss Liz.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you can go ahead and post it. And then I have your information here. Is that the number you have on the card that you want everybody to reach out to you?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. And then I have P.O. Box 5073, Pasadena, Texas, 77508.
Yes, that's
Okay.
good.
I'm going to put that in there for you, Miss
Okay.
Liz. Okay.
This story is about a little girl, of course, that I know. And this is kind of how her day, on what she goes through every day. Can you walk in my shoes for maybe just one day and tell me if it's supposed to be this way? First thing in the morning, I get pulled out of bed by my hair from my mommy, and she slaps me all over my face. I listen to how stupid I am and how ugly I am from my mommy on the way out the door to catch the bus for school. I try and talk at school because I can't talk at home, but the teacher says I talk too much, and she puts tape on my mouth. And now all the kids are staring at me. I don't like it when they stare at me. That's what my daddy does when he makes me dress up and makes me stand on the bed so he can look at me and take pictures of me. I don't like it when he does that to me. It's time to go home from school, but I don't want to go home.
Anytime, I don't mean to interrupt you. Anytime you need a break or whatever, Miss Liz, just let us know. We have no problem with you taking a break. It's not a problem. Just let me know whenever you would like to take a break.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's time to go home, but I don't want to go home. My teacher sent a note home to my mommy, and I know she's going to be really mad. My mama reads the note, and she slaps me a lot of times on my face, and I can feel my lips bleeding. She screams at me to go clean my ugly face and to hurry up and to get to the table to start my homework. I have to practice my spelling words, and I spell them out loud to my mommy. I know she's going to hit me with the fly swatter if I get it wrong, so I'm very scared. I spell a word, and I guess I spelled it wrong because she starts hitting me over and over again on my face and on my arms and my legs. Stop. Please stop. That hurts. But she just hits me more for screaming. Now it's time to eat supper. She always fixes things I don't like on my plate, like Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cauliflower. I'm the last one at the table again. Mommy says I have to eat every bit on my plate. So she sets the timer for 3 minutes. And she tells me my food better be gone before the timer goes off. The timer goes off. The food is still on my plate. She hits me with the fly swatter over and over. And then she sets the timer again for 3 more minutes. The timer goes off again. Time for the fly swatter. I'm at the table a long time now, and my food is cold. She makes me eat it anyway. My food is cold and yucky, and it makes me sick. so my tummy makes me throw it up. My mommy is very mad, so she makes me eat it while she hits me with the fly swatter. My skin hurts where she keeps hitting me, so I make myself keep it down my throat so she will stop hitting me. Finally, she lets me get up from the table and screams at me to go get ready for bed. I get ready for bed, but I'm afraid to go to sleep. You see, when I start going to sleep, I have monsters that come in my room at night, and they hurt me. I start getting sleepy, and my daddy comes in my room while my mommy's in the shower. He touches me and kisses on me and makes me touch him. Then he stops and then he leaves. It gets very quiet. Then my door opens again. I close my eyes really tight. My brother comes in and I pretend to be asleep. He climbs on top of me and does what he wants, and then he leaves. A long time goes by. I'm falling asleep again. My mommy comes in my room. She starts hitting me in the head and starts calling me names and slapping me, pulling me out of bed by my hair and throwing me up against the wall. Then she stops and she starts yelling at me to clean up the mess and go to bed. And then she leaves the room. I clean everything up, crying and hurting, trying to settle down to go to sleep so I can wake up the next morning and do it all over again.
You need a break, sweetie?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send a link to our therapist, Mr. Jeremiah Rankin. We're just going to invite him so he can kind of explain a little things to our guests while you kind of get yourself together, because I truly, truly, truly am so thankful that you were able to come on and just share your story with us. And it's just amazing that we hear your incredible story and you're able to tell it. So when you're able to tell your story, is that because you want someone else to hear your story, or you speak on that, please?
Yes, I want to be able to help other people.
Yes, ma'am.
I've went, it's taken me a long time to be where I'm at. It's very hard for me to get up in front of people and to talk, just because of my abuse that my dad did, staring at me and watching me. He was also a transvestite. So that also brought a lot of sick things into what he was doing to me as well. Having me dress up and taking pictures and stuff. So of course I don't like pictures. But these are things that the Lord is helping me heal on. And the more that I say my story, the more that I heal.
Okay.
And hopefully it helps others.
And you said something, as an educator myself, how in the world, I'm trying to figure this out, this teacher was allowed to put tape up on your mouth? That's what I'm not understanding.
Yes.
I'm like, really? I'm not understanding that.
And see, back then, I'm assuming,
because back then,
it happened a lot. But now that when I started getting older, and as a mom, And, I've worked with children and it's like, oh my gosh, what they did to me was wrong. Putting tape on my mouth. So I was kind of, that was abuse at school.
Right.
Here I was trying to talk because I wasn't able to talk at home. And I was also being punished at school too, because I talked too much, instead of maybe somebody trying to find out what's going on with me.
Right. And see, that's what I would do when I had my kids at the school. When they would start to act out and do certain things, I wouldn't send them to the office or punish them. I would sit down and talk to them one on one. What is going on? Because he had a little girl in my class, and she very seldom would miss. And then all of a sudden, she missed about 2 weeks. Mom claimed she was sick. So when she came back, she was a little bitty thing because I had first grade. She had a black eye. I didn't say anything to her. She didn't say anything to me, but she watched me the whole day. And then probably about almost lunchtime, she came to me because she know the kind of work my husband did. And she said, if I tell you something, would I know you will protect me? I say, yes, baby, I will always be there to protect you. That's when she opened up. These were her real parents. Her mom, well, it was really her dad, was letting his brothers, uncles, or whoever would pay to come and have sexual relations with her and the three sisters. And they were the one I had was in first grade, the other one's in the third, and then the other one was in the fourth grade. And when she said that, I immediately, took her to the principal, and we got it straight. And the nerve of the mom to call me and ask me would I testify on her behalf, because that's all her children would talk about was me, how they love me, and I would protect them. So I think when it comes to abuse, domestic violence, you still have to stand up. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if people want to leave your company, they want to say this, they want to say that. But just like I said, when we out here advocating for domestic violence, or we are out here advocating for whatever, I think the voice will be for the voice of people who cannot speak for themselves. So if I don't speak up for the children that are coming behind, if I don't speak, you have to be able to speak.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes,
and then
yes.
and you get so much. Jeremiah Rankin, I did send you the link, sir. Can you be able to come on for us, please? So what I did was still speak on it. I don't see how I can go to domestic violence events or be the speaker, be on their panel, and knowing that somebody is being sexually abused, domestic violence, that's contrary to what I believe in and what I do. No, I've never been a child of sexual abuse. I've never been a victim of domestic violence, but like you heard me say it the other day, I always had that voice to speak for the ones who felt like they didn't have a voice.
And thank
And
you for
something
that.
I think Miss Tracy said, because they don't want to take sides. And a lot of time, Jeremiah say it's a hard conversation and people want to avoid it. Why do you think people would want to avoid talking about something? And then when we see them on the news or something has happened, oh, I should have said something.
Oh yeah, after the
It's
fact.
too late. That's what I'm saying. It's too late.
Yes.
So during the process that you did know, even though I understand it's a hard conversation, and like Miss Tracy say, because they don't want to take sides, I don't take sides in there like that, Miss Tracy. I'll just say, all right, if you are the abuser, okay, that's not right. And if you're the victim, we can help you and get you situated. But I never will take the sides and get in between it, because what I have seen working with domestic violence victims, they're going to go right back to their husbands or whoever it is. It could be the wife or whoever. So that's why I have never taken sides on anything in this relationship or what they're doing. Just try to help them and try to get help for them.
Right. Right. Yes. And the thing is the children don't, them not having a voice, somebody has to take up for them.
Right.
Nobody's defending them. So somebody has to step in and do something.
Right.
If their parents or whoever is abusing them. Now here I'm an adult and now I have a voice for the child that I was.
Right.
So I'm having to be an advocate for myself as well,
Yes,
because
yes.
there was nobody that helped me or saved me. I lived with 3 abusers every
Oh,
day.
yes, 3. Yes. That
Yes.
was your foster dad and your 2 foster brothers. Or were they foster brothers or adopted brothers and
No,
family?
they were her real children, but
Her
only
real
one.
children.
Yeah, it was the younger one. Only one of them. He was 6 years older
Okay.
than me. Yes. The other one treated me good. It was just the other one.
Okay.
Um,
The baby boy.
yes, yes. So,
Did
and
you
it
ever confront the dad or the mom to kind of get some closure about this
um
situation?
no, I didn't. My adoptive dad passed away probably about I guess it was about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe
Okay.
a little, yeah, maybe 5 months ago. I was actually going to mail him my first book, and he
Right.
passed away before I could do that. Um, but my adopted mother is still alive, and so is her son.
Yes. And
Yes.
I'm just asking, do you um have any kind of relationship with them or
No, no.
okay.
I had my daughter at 24, and
Hmm.
I quit speaking to them when she was 6 months old,
Okay.
because I didn't want this to happen to her.
You
I
want to
had to
protect your
protect
own
my
baby.
child. Yes.
Yes.
Um, and I'm embarrassed to say that my mom hit me till I was 21 years old. I was 21 years old. I stayed in the home to help with the bills. Her 2 sons had moved out, and it just one day, she just would hit on me if she was had a bad day, and I have had it since I was 5 and a half. Her be hitting me, so I was very afraid of her, even as an adult. So one day she came home from work. She was upset. Her and her boyfriend broke up, and she just slapped me in the face. And the third time she went to slap me, I caught her hand, and it surprised me. I had just had enough. I was 21. I was helping pay the bills. I was, and her face, like, her eyes were just huge. She couldn't believe that I did that. And then that was it. She was trying to hurt me. She told me she was going to kill me. So I went in my room and I grabbed what I could of my clothes, and she was just beating all over me, my back and my head, and just hitting me. And I had went into the kitchen because I had been saving some money, and I had hid it actually in the kitchen in a something little up in the cabinet, and I had to go in there and get it because I knew I was leaving. And when I went to get it and I turned around, she started choking me, and we ended up on the floor. And she told me that I wasn't leaving, that she was going to kill me. And she was on top of me, and I could feel I was going to pass out, and I couldn't get her off of me. And I was able to get my foot up and push her off of me and throw her off. I grabbed my clothes, got in my car, and I left.
So do you think it was more of a mental illness thing or it was jealousy?
Um,
What do you think it was? Just, I know you're not a professional, just what do you think it was?
I think later on, like I said, because I was living there until I was 21, she came home drunk. She did drink a lot. I happened to ask her why she did those things to me. She told me she was jealous of me. That's what she told me at the time.
Hmm. Yes.
But what happened when she knew that my dad was messing with me, but instead of helping me, she treated me like I was the other woman.
Right. I remember
So
you told me
that's
that.
how all of this happened. And when he would see marks on me, bruises, and of course she always hit my face and pulled my hair. And I think that I'd rather you hit me on my body than my face. I think it was more humiliating to me to be hit in the face.
Right.
And I have scars. I try to cover up with makeup.
Right.
I have scars all in my eyebrows that I have to, cover over. But she was always hitting me in the face. So she was busting my mouth and my nose. So if he saw these bruises or saw me in the bathroom cleaning up blood, he would go and beat on her.
Oh Lord.
So it was, because he was over here messing with me. So he defended me. So it was like and then she would come
Vicious
at me when
cycle.
yes. So he would go to work, or that were her coming in my room late at night because I let him see my blood or I let him see my bruise. So she would hit me for it. So it was like a cycle, just, on and on. So this just went on, and you would think that she would quit hitting me so he wouldn't hit her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not. Yeah, she would
Yeah.
think of different things to do to me, making me drink liquid dish soap and just you name it, just and a lot of mental, they actually were a white family. So she would tell me all the time how ugly my skin color was, how stupid Mexicans were. I'm never going to amount to anything. Just a lot of verbal abuse. She called me a whore a lot. So that's how I knew at the time when I was younger, when she first started calling, I didn't even know what that was.
Right. You're a baby. You're a
I
child.
didn't even know what that was. I found out later at school what that word was, from, people at school. But I didn't even know what that was. She was calling me names. So that's how I knew that she knew that he was doing stuff to me. But they were both that, he would do things to scare me, not telling. He actually, some people, this is the thing too. He would mess with me in front of people. We would have a party at our house, family, and he would call me over to him to sit in his lap. And he would have me sitting on his private area, rubbing it on my bottom. He would make me touch him. And it was just a thing for me, though, to show me that he could do that and nobody helped me or stop him. He would do this just in front of people. I mean, and they wouldn't look at us, but I knew that they just were standing around, and he would be whispering.
And they knew. Yeah, like you say, they knew, and nobody said anything. It's not appropriate for a young girl to be sitting on a man's private part. My thing was, okay, if you're doing this publicly right now, what are you actually doing behind closed doors? I would have grabbed you out, we'd have ran out, and I would have called the police. Even if I would have been wrong, at least I did something. And that's why I tell a lot of people, even if you whatever, I always say something. That's why when I was teaching, I always told my babies, I don't care. Keep telling people, you keep talking. Somebody is going to eventually help you. So I always told them, and anytime something would happen, I would be the first one to come to when they would either get beat at home or no food or mom's boyfriend is doing it, because they knew that I would step up, for them and would be a voice for these children. And as a child, safe, all of this going on in your mind, were you wondering, does anybody see this? I'm crying.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Where are my protectors? That's what I put in here. Where are my protectors? Where are the people who say they love me? My teachers are there to help me. My counselors are there to help me. My principals are there to help me. But why is no one helping me?
Right. Yes. Yes. I was always thinking that. I actually had a sister, my blood sister. She's 2 years younger than me. We couldn't be separated because I was actually taking care of her when CPS removed us from our home and put us in an orphanage. So the lady that adopted me, her sister adopted my sister. So by law, we're cousins.
So cousins, yes.
Right. But of course, she ended up getting the good family. Yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry. I just
Take your
forgot.
time.
I'm
It's
sorry.
no rush. Whenever you're ready to end, it
I'm
is
so
no rush.
sorry.
We're no, you have nothing to be sorry for. You're here to tell your story, so we can help and we can support you. And like I said, anytime you want to stop, it is no problem, Miss Liz, to stop. We would just when we heard your story, everybody just wanted to come help you. How can we get your story out? What do we do, Miss Liz? And we know through the process that it will be hard for you to, tell your story. But like you said, you have to tell it to get it out. Because if you keep all of that in, it might be a little girl or it might be somebody that's going to be looking and they say, well, Miss Liz said if I do this, Miss Liz said if I did this. You
Mhm.
never know who you are helping because they see that Miss Liz went through this and Miss Liz made it out.
Right, right. Well, my sister's mom, which was my aunt, they would go to church. We didn't go to church, but my aunt would take my sister to church, and she would invite me. And I think my aunt knew, to some degree. She told me when I got older that she didn't know it was that bad. She just know that
Mm,
it was dysfunctional. So she did try to get me on the weekends, and to go, to church with them. So when
right.
I went to church, this is where I learned about Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned in Bible study. When we were kids in the kids class, and they would tell us that Jesus helps you,
Yes.
and you just have to pray. And so I started doing that as a child. I would pray and pray and just pray for help, for somebody to help me, to save me. And it never happened. It never happened. It never stopped. It kept happening, and it got worse, and it kept happening, and then my brother, and then it never stopped. So I began to be angry with the Lord. And to at a certain point you stop trying to find somebody to help you, and you just fall in line, and you do what's told of you, and you just you do what you have to do to survive. They tell you to do it, you do it, because they've told you that they're going to do things to you. They're going to, they threaten you, and you believe them. And so I grew up really angry with the Lord. And in my late 20s, the Lord began to speak to me. And I had never heard the Lord's voice before, but I knew it was Him.
Yes.
And He had me journal. It was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was arguing with him. I didn't want to do this, and this is something that I kept journaling and journaling. And when I was done, he told me to go back and read it. And that was the hardest thing that I had to do, because I had to read everything that I put that was done to me. And that was hard. But it was part of my healing to see, to have to read that on the things that were done to me.
And let me ask you, your natural birth parents, do you have a relationship with them or you know where they are?
No, they both passed away.
Oh, okay.
My father passed away, right before I was, well, no, I think it was after we were adopted. He had passed. I was probably about 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, I went on Mother's Day, and my daughter went with me. I went with one of my real brothers. And I knew that the Lord showed me that, I had to forgive her, because
Yes.
I was angry with her, because I felt that if they would have taken care of us, this wouldn't have happened to me. So we were neglected. They were both alcoholics, my real parents.
Yes.
And so I felt so much anger, if she would have taken care of us. So I had to forgive her. so I could move on, for me. So I was able to go and speak with my real mother, and was able to forgive her on, it was a Mother's Day. And then about, I guess it was about 3 or 4 years after that, she ended up in Pasadena, where I live, and was in the hospital. And I was at the hospital, and she passed. So I was so glad that I was able to forgive her. So I healed from that. So that was, I hate that I wasn't able to do that with my father.
Right, right. And you have what we call the precious baby, which is Lizzie Bear. Is Lizzie Bear there, or you didn't bring Lizzie
Oh,
Bear?
I'm sorry. No,
Oh,
I
no
didn't.
problem. I put the picture out. Everybody, I told them about Lizzie Bear. Can you kind of explain a little bit about Lizzie Bear? That's the picture. I didn't put your picture out there. I put Lizzie Bear's picture out there.
Yes, yes. Yes, Lizzie Bear was actually, the Lord showed me a dream about Lizzie Bear, and it was so real. When I got up from this dream, I immediately started searching for toy companies.
Mm,
So I found a toy company in New York, and they ended up doing a prototype of Lizzie Bear. And Lizzie Bear has a pouch on her stomach,
mm,
Velcro pouch, that comes with a letter to the victim or survivor.
mm-hmm.
Um, so, and they can also write their letter, and put it in there as well. But she's purple and teal, purple for domestic violence, for physical abuse, and then the teal for sexual abuse.
Okay. Okay. And we also have our I haven't taken mine off since you gave it to me.
Oh,
It
awesome. I have
says
mine. I always wear mine.
LizzieBear.org. I have it on. So let me ask you if they want is this for purchase also, the band you gave us, or you
Yes.
okay.
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't have that on my website, but I can put those on my
Okay.
website.
So if you want to get and support Ms. Liz, what else can they purchase from you right now to go ahead and
Um,
help you?
okay, on my website, which is lizziebear.org, they can actually buy my workbook. And like I said, that's for victims and survivors of abuse. And I'm sure everybody knows somebody, whether it's
Yes.
their cousin, there's always somebody that could use something like that. A great gift. And then also too, I have shirts on there. There's a Lizzie Bear collection. I
Mhm.
think there's 3 on there. We haven't put them all on there yet, but we will. Um,
Okay.
we're going to be introducing a new shirt. I'm going to be at Fight Like a Girl on November the 5th and 6th, set with
Okay,
the table.
cool.
Yeah, with the table set up, and I'll have all my stuff out there. And then, like I said, my second book is a children's book. It's actually introducing Lizzie Bear. Lizzie Bear in this story belongs to a little girl named Kayla. She's given, in order to get a bear, you have to have, of course, been abused. So in this book, Kayla is abused by her mom's boyfriend, and her
Mm.
counselor gives her the bear. So that's the whole introduction of bringing out Lizzie Bear. So, and it's going to be a book series. So
Okay.
there'll be more to come on, Lizzie Bear going through different things. I'm sorry, Kayla going through different things,
Kayla. Yeah.
and then Lizzie Bear helping her. And
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And
And so,
will we be able to buy the whole series? Because I know you said we will not be able to get Lizzie Bear unless we've been abused, but we can buy the book series from you, or that's still
yes,
just
yes.
for
And
okay.
you can buy Lizzie Bear if you have it. If you just want to help and support, that's fine
Right.
too.
All
That's
right, now
fine
like
too.
don't count us out because I want me a Lizzie Bear. And I heard you said you
Yes.
were going to get them for boys also.
Yes, yes. And so I have had a lot of people ask me about that, because yes, there are boys, that are, and men that have been abused. And I do want to also, address that as well. So I told them that I would be doing a Larry Bear. So I
Okay.
can't, I can't switch the colors, but what I can do is the body of Lizzie Bear is purple, and her ears and her nose and her feet are teal.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the colors,
Okay.
and her on Larry Bear, his body will be teal, and his feet and nose and ears will be purple.
Oh, and
And
he's
it'll have Larry Bear on it.
yeah, and Lizzie Bear was passed around to everybody. Everybody wanted to give Lizzie a hug. We just love Lizzie, and this is what I asked you. We don't know where it came from about you having a Lifetime movie. I don't know if we put that in the atmosphere. Are we ready for you to have a Lifetime story? But we're going to support you.
Thank
However,
you.
your book, with your vision and your dreams, and we're going to get this out. And I know sometimes it is hard for you to kind of talk about it, but no one can tell your story but you. Even if I try to tell your story, it's not my story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes,
Right.
well, Lady Hale said that, Miss Liz said that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then
Right.
along the way, Lady Hale might leave out some points that Miss Lizzie told her, just like we spelled your name correctly, but when I typed it in, I spelled it wrong. So I had to go back and retype your name in there. So that's why a lot of times I like for people to tell their story. And like I said, if it's too hard to tell and you say we can't go on anymore, that's perfectly fine. We can shut it down. We're not going to keep asking you questions. We're not going to keep going on like that, because when it's your time to tell, and it's when it's your time to, be
Right.
able to tell, you
Thank
can.
you.
But until then, I'm just not that type of person. So what else do you need the audience to know that you need help? We're going to make sure, I don't know how we're going to do that movie, but we're going to put that out there. Somebody is listening somewhere. Somebody might know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Right. And I can go get Lizzie Bear. She's in the next room if you want. I don't know if y'all can see on my phone.
Yeah, I posted Lizzie Bear. Remember the picture I
Okay.
put up our video? I
Okay.
posted Lizzie Bear. I said, "This is Lizzie Bear, everybody." And so everybody was asking me, where can they get Lizzie Bear, or where can they support you? I said, well,
Yeah.
she's going to be on here. You need to ask her that.
Right.
I'm not going to be spreading false information. If I spell her name wrong, I'm going to get everything else wrong. I'm like, nope, not going to do it. So that's why I was asking you all of the questions,
Oh, okay. Well,
regarding
I
that.
would really love the like I said, well, I have a prototype, but the only thing that's stopping me is, of course, having money to start production.
About
Um,
how much money do you need for production to start Lizzie Bear?
to do 900 bears, it's going to be $9,500.
There's somebody out there that have 9,000. Well, we're gonna say $10,000.
Yeah.
Somebody out here, Miss Leah's phone number is down there, her Gmail is down there, her PO box. Uh, if you don't want to be known, you could just write her a check or get her a cashier check. You can just send it in the mail. If you don't want anybody to thank you for it, that's okay. You could just get a cashier check and send it. You have the address, you have a Gmail, you have all the information. And when she said 900 bears, you know how many people that is going to help? 900 bears. And I like the point where you had in there that you could either write your story or you could write a note or something in there. I think
Yes.
it's very positive, because until you acknowledge that, I have seen people, one of my family members, she held on to stuff like that until she died. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
You can't do that. And then when people would try to talk to her, that person could never get over what actually had happened. And if you don't acknowledge it and you can't come to grips with it, like Miss Hope say, forgiveness is the first key. You have to
yes.
forgive, not for that person's sake. You have to forgive for yourself so you can move on. And it is so
Exactly.
amazing right now. You have a husband, you have children, so, and you're doing a great job. So it does say that once you do forgive the person, that there is a life after that. And not only that, you're an advocate speaking for those who do not have a voice.
Right.
And you never know who may, because we got it all on YouTube, we got it on Instagram, we have it everywhere, and it will be stored out there on the social media. So you never know who will come across it. Your phone number is there, your website is there, your Gmail is there. So all of your contact information is out there. So if anybody is going through anything, you might need someone to talk to. What is the youngest age that if because you know these kids, not everybody on social media. What is the youngest age? Because I know with a certain age, you have to have one of the parents. Is that how that work? Or if the child reach out to you, you would have to speak to mama or whoever the guardian.
Yes, whoever, yeah. Yeah, and I also have talked to I've talked to some police departments
Mm-hmm.
that are definitely wanting Lizzie Bear to put in their trunks when they
Right,
come
right.
across a lot of domestic violence,
Correct.
calls. I've talked to a lot of judges
Mm-hmm.
that are wanting to be able to give it to the child when they go up and they're having to talk in court
Testify. Yeah,
against their abuser, and they can hold on to Lizzie Bear. I've
right.
talked to some of the hospitals when they get rape victims.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yes, when they
about
get
that.
people that come through their emergency doors, and they're in there and they're alone, and they're that way they have something to hold on to and
Something.
help.
Yes, 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 yes. And let me ask you, are you a 501c3?
Yes, I am.
Okay, have you applied for like the different grants and things like that?
Well, I just recently got approved for the 501c3.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
I'm just now trying to do the grant stuff, and the thing, having to do all this stuff and not know how to go about doing it.
I know how to go about
Gosh,
doing it. I
yes,
know how
it's
to do it.
there's like a lot of stuff,
Oh yeah.
and just but anyway, so and I wanted to also share, how great God is with how He works. Um, I don't know if any of y'all know who Lady Gail Johnson is.
Yeah, she is Miss Lady Gail was on here earlier. I don't know if she still is on here.
Oh,
She
okay.
yeah,
She
Lady Gail was on here
well,
because I remember her.
I had applied to work for her. Her and Pastor had a daycare in LaPorte, and I went for to apply for the center for the assistant director. And that night, after meeting her, the Lord showed me another dream that she was supposed to help me with the bear.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't
That
even
was
know her. I just had an interview with her, and
right.
so Miss Gail was the one that actually named Lizzie Bear. She's the
Okay.
one that gave Lizzie Bear the name. And then also I knew that there was a letter that was supposed to come with the bear, but I didn't know where to put it. So Miss Gail, was like, what about the belly? That's where your
All right
spirit
now.
is. That's where your spirit is. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So we were able to put a Velcro pocket there.
Okay.
So Miss Gail has, yes, she has helped me with it. Her and Pastor prayed, over this bear. And so they were awesome in connecting me with different things, but the Lord just works, puts people in
He
your
always
path.
put people together, for a particular reason. And like I said, whatever services you need from me, no cost, we can get together. And like we have like a grant writing team that we use. I'll introduce you to them, and
Okay, awesome.
we can start. Since you just gotten your 501, I'll see if some other things you have to do since you have just gotten it. So I'll walk you through that process also too. But
Okay.
there is a need for that. And like I said, since you've gotten it, you can apply to some of the hospitals, the police departments, the sheriff department, because I'm a chaplain for the Harris County Sheriff Department, which is over here. And we always I don't do the ride alongs, I do the death notification. So when I do death notification, if a parent has lost a child, and especially if it's a little child and they have other brothers and sisters, I always make sure I have, teddy bears there for them also. So, like you said, it's
Awesome.
always great to have something there. So it's not like you just feel alone. Long as you have something there. And like you say, with the rape victims, that was something, I never had thought about on there also. So that is so we just love what you're doing. You're
Thank
doing
you.
amazing. When everybody met you, on Saturday. Everybody just fell in love. What do you want us to do? How do you want us to help you? So,
Thank
and I
you.
think Mika, she has a much larger platform with her radio station. Mika is going to be getting in touch with you also, and some of the
Okay.
other radio announcers in the media is going to get there so we can shed some kind of awareness, a light, because if I wouldn't have been there on Saturday, I wouldn't have had known you. But like you say, God has things already planned out. So
Oh,
He
yes.
planned for me to be there to meet you, so you can meet me, so
Exactly.
you can
Well,
meet everybody else.
and also too, Miss Gail was actually supposed to be there, not me.
Uh
Miss
huh.
Gail, yeah, Miss Gail had something come up, and
Right.
she couldn't make it, and she had to find, somebody to replace her.
Uh
And
huh.
she thought of me and asked me
Yeah.
if I could go. And I think that was on Tuesday
Uh huh.
or Wednesday. So it's just, it just was meant to be, I guess.
Right. Everything works together. We don't have to
Yes,
question it. We don't have to ask for anything.
exactly.
It always worked together. And I truly believe that the God will put people in your path that are supposed to be there. Because I always pray and say, well, Lord, whoever's not supposed to be on this journey, or we're not supposed to be together, I'm not saying that I won't be friends with them or whatever. But when you have a journey and you're an advocate and you have certain things you have to, do, you
Right.
can't waste time on frivolous friendships and all of this, because it's still some kids out there that need to hear from you, that need to know that that's not right what daddy is doing to you. That's not right. It could be a mommy now. You never know. See, I see stuff on the news. It could be a mommy now
Right.
that's doing this to these kids. And like you said, when you had it, well, is anybody coming? They may be in the
No.
same situation that you were. Well,
Yeah.
why isn't anybody coming? I'm waiting. God, you said if I pray, if I ask, you're going to send me some help. Why you never sent me any
Mhm.
help?
Yes, yes, and that's what would happen. Like I said, you just give up. You
Yeah.
give up, and I mean the teachers. Of course, I loved going to school because I
Right.
could get away from my
Yes. That
abusers.
was a break.
But I was one big thing that and I see now as I'm older, is one big thing. I was a class clown,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing that I do see, that people that are children, especially that are being abused,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that kind of behavior.
I know. I've noticed that too. I've noticed it. That's why when they cut up and they do things like that, I pull them aside. What is going on? And my biggest fear that I did have is when the pandemic was coming and we had homeschooling. I'm like, some of those kids, that was their only outlet, was to
Yes.
get away from their abuser. Now they're stuck at home 24/7 with
Yes,
their abuser. And
exactly.
uh, it was
It,
just, I don't know.
it's
I'm
sad.
glad
Yes.
that they started to open that back up, because as we saw, Mayor Turner was on there talking about how the domestic violence rate went up. When we
Mhm.
had the pandemic and people were at home, murder went up when we had all of these
Yes.
people at home. So I'm just here to help and assist you however we can help you get you to where you need to go. We can get Lizzie Bear, Larry Bear out there. And y'all guys see, I will have on my bracelet, and I will be supporting Lizzie and Larry Bear
Thank you.
also. So
Thank
before
you.
we leave, like I said, it will be an hour. Before we leave, what is it that you really want people to know? How can people get involved with you? What can people do to help and assist you?
Be a voice.
Yes.
Be a voice. Gosh, and when you see something, say something. There could be a little Liz out there that you're not helping. Pay attention to the different things. We're scared, and we've been threatened. So we can't just go up and go, hey, this is happening to me. Find out what the different things that like we just talked about being a class clown. There, and also, and I want to say this too. We people, and you'll hear me say victim and then slash survivor. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I used to be a victim,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm a survivor. And
Okay.
the reason that we are survivors, not only did I survive the beatings and the sexual abuse. But the biggest thing that I survived is what comes after it, and that's
Right.
alcohol abuse, drugs. I did all of it. Suicide. That's why I'm called a survivor. That's why we're called survivors, because we survived everything that comes after the abuse.
Right.
I've had a gun in my mouth. I've had a gun at my head. I've had a knife at my wrist. I've done as soon as I started drinking, my mom, when she started dating, she got a divorce from her second husband. She left me alone in the house when she went and lived with her boyfriend. I was 12 and a half. So I got into the alcohol, started drinking it. Now, I liked it that I was there by myself because she's already separate. She got a divorce from my dad that sexually abused me. But the physical abuse didn't stop. But when she would move out and left me there by myself, that stopped too. I'd still go catch the bus. And then when she'd break up with him, she'd come back home and it'd start all over again. But that's when I got into drinking the alcohol. So then when I drank the alcohol, it opened another door. And I started doing the drugs because I had all this anger. I had all this pain that I didn't know what to do with. So when you see somebody going out of control like that, people don't just drink to drink. There's a difference in drinking for fun and drinking so much. And the fights I would get in, I had so much anger. There's so many people that I wore rings on all my fingers and would just beat on them. And that's terrible because they didn't do anything but bump into me. Right. But I had so much anger, I didn't know what to do with. So yes, be a voice, help somebody, so they don't have to endure any longer than what they're having. My abuse lasted years, years. And I had to end up saving myself at 21, leaving with her trying to kill me. So,
let me ask you, Miss Liz, you said that your natural mom would leave you at home by yourself when you were 12 and a half. So you said no neighbors, nobody said anything. I thought something was wrong for a 12-year-old to be there by themselves with no parent. We don't see no adults coming out of that house. All I see is this little girl coming out of this house. So you don't know whether you didn't understand.
No, people don't want to get involved. See,
but you can make an anonymous call. You don't have to get involved. Just call and say, can y'all do a welfare check, or send somebody go up to the school, because we haven't seen any adults at this house. We only see this little girl. So somebody please come over there. I mean,
and see the only time there was when I was in high school, I probably was in the 9th grade, 9th or 10th, maybe the 9th grade. There was somebody, of course they didn't tell me or my mom, but somebody did call.
Okay.
Now nothing came of it because I was scared.
Yeah.
So they took the counselor took me in the office. There was an officer there, somebody from CPS, and they asked me questions. And of course I'm not saying nothing.
No,
I'm horrified of my mother. I was horrified of her. So nope, nothing going on here, but that was it. So
nobody never came out to check to see make sure mom was there.
No, but here's the thing too. When I got older, I was in I think I was in the 11th grade. My mom and me lived at the house, and my brother, the one that was sexually abusing me, he moved back in with his wife and child. Okay, it was a baby. He actually came in from work. I guess he had went drinking after work or something. He had been drinking and put his hand up my shorts. So this was it starting all over again. So I was older. I was about like 17, I guess. So I ended up telling somebody for the very first time. I told a friend, and she told me, why don't you need to tell somebody?
Right.
Because I was afraid it was going to happen all over again.
A vicious cycle.
Yes, because here he is back in the home, and now he's touching me again, and I'm older.
Right.
So at the time, my mother was trying to, her and her husband were getting counseling to get back together. Well, they said that I needed to come in, and I shared with the counselor about my brother. Well, she called my mom, and she showed up the next day, and she pulled me out of school, and she beat me all the way to her office.
Mm-mm.
All the way to her office. So she threatened me and told me, you better tell her that you were lying. So when I went in there, I told her I was lying, but she's like, did she tell you to say that? And I couldn't say anything. So the next thing I know, it was probably a couple of days went by. And of course I got the beatings of my life, because I said something. And also it was about her son. So CPS showed up at my house. They took me in the other room and they asked me. I told them that he had sexually abused me as a child, and that he was back in the home and he was abusing me again. I didn't think that he would tell the truth, but he told them that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So when he went in the bedroom to talk to CPS, I was out in the living room with my mom and his wife, which was in shock. My mom pinned me up in the kitchen against the wall and was choking me. And she told me, if they arrest him, I'm going to kill you.
Oh my Lord.
And she said, because he's my blood and you are not.
You're still her daughter.
Well, that's the way she looked at it. I wasn't her blood. So she told me if they took him to jail. So here's where, I finally stood up for myself and told somebody. I get pulled out of my home and had to be put into a home in Galveston and go to a different school. They were told that my mom and my brother were supposed to be going to counseling. And if they stopped, that he was going to get arrested. They went one time. Nothing happened to him. Nothing. So I was in this home, and they told her that if she had to find somebody in the family for me to live with, because I couldn't live there because he was there. And if she didn't, that they were going to adopt me back out. So she ended up having my uncle, which at the time lived around in Austin. And I moved in with them and had to go to the school over there. But why did I have to change all of my stuff?
Why did you have to move?
I didn't do anything wrong. So I felt I can see of why people are afraid to tell. I don't even know how I lived through the beatings after she found out that I told. By the grace of God, she was because it was her son that I said did this to me, and so I don't even know how I survived. I really don't.
And that's why I put in there on this that, and I know we have to go, that where was your support? Where was your protection?
Yes,
where was everybody? That's what I'm saying. Where I understand they say people don't want to get involved. People don't want to say anything, but you can call anonymously. You can call and tell the police to do a welfare check. You can call up to the school and tell the principal or the teacher, or once they have been notified by law, we are required to make that call.
Exactly.
And if something still doesn't change, we can make another call.
Right.
You just keep making those calls and build a paperwork, a paper trail. And eventually somebody is going to see, well, we need to do something because this same person who's anonymous is calling. We know that when they get this child over here, they have already told her, you better not say this, you better not say that. We already know this. But if we can get you away long enough, maybe you can tell the truth, and we can get you into a good home where you won't have to endure this abuse anymore.
Exactly.
And
because that could be that could be your child.
Yes. Miss Veronica say, I understand being silent. I remain silent until age 18. Yep. So that's why I have always said something And I have always made sure that I was a voice. And I also told all my kids in the class, I don't care who it was, mom, dad, grandpa, whatever, let me know. And my kids know that we would protect them and I would not stop. Okay, just like CPS came that day and removed those girls out of the home, because if they weren't going to do it that day, I was going to keep calling. I was going to go up to the chain of command, because I know, okay, if the caseworker don't do anything, intake don't go anything, I know the next process. I know the next process. Even if I have to call up to the state office because no one is protecting this child, that's
Right.
what I'm going to do.
Right. Well, thank you for doing that.
Right.
Thank
And
you.
people like, have you ever been abused? You've been, no, I'm the way I put it like this, to my knowledge, I never have been abused. I've never been in a domestic violence situation. And my grandparents always told me, even when I was little, when kids would be fighting the other kids, I always be the one to just jump in and take over, and like was always like that from the time that they could remember. That's what I was doing. So it was so amazing. To get with you, Miss Liz, and to
Yes, ma'am.
share your story. Everyone, all Miss Liz information is down there. I put the phone number, I put the website, I put a PO box, I put Gmail. So anybody who's going
Thank
to be
you.
watching the replay, and you weren't able to, please reach out to Miss Liz if you have some resources. Or you would be able to, hold on, you gave me your cash app. Hold on 1 minute. Let me go back.
Yes.
You gave me the cash app, and I'm going to share her cash app, you guys. So anything could help. It could be $5, it could be $10, it could be $20, whatever it is that you can help Ms. Liz with. Or you may know somebody who's a multi-millionaire, and $10,000 would
Oh,
not be
yes, Lord. That
anything.
would be
ten
great.
thousand dollars would not be anything for them to give. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's why we also make sure, if and it's a lot of people. It says Mike is muted. Remove Lanita. Hell, who removed me? Oh, y'all hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, I don't know who said I'm muted. I'm sorry if y'all say I'm muted. I'm still talking. Okay. Yes. So I did put your cash app and all of your
Okay, thank you.
information there. I want people to reach out to you. And just like Miss Veronica said, she stayed silent uh, for 18 years. And
Mhm.
how this, by her seeing your story, you never know how she impacted you, have impacted her, why she stayed silent for so long. But you do have a voice, and I'm going to
Yes.
repost it again. I want people to reach out to you. Your phone number is there, your website is there, your PO box is there, and your Gmail is there. So I want you guys, please, to reach out to Miss Liz if you have any resources. If you know anybody that have $10,000 that's laying
Mhm.
around, they can mail
Yes.
to Miss Liz. Send the money, because Miss Liz is a 501c3, and they can get a tax write out. But if
Yes,
we
yes, yes.
all, if she need 10,000, say if all of us would give $10. We just start giving $10 here, $20 there, whatever you can spare to help Miss Liz. Purchase something from her website. Just like we have our bracelet here. Wear the bracelet. Somebody's going to ask you about the bracelet. That's when you can give them Miss Liz information, because every little bit helps. So,
Yes,
Miss Liz, we
yes,
want to say thank you. I know we went over about 8 minutes, but I want to say thank
yes.
you for sharing your story. I want to say thank you for just being a voice, and you
Thank
have
you.
my support. You have my grant teams of support. So whenever you're ready, let us know so we can start,
Okay,
preparing and getting things together for you,
thank
because
you.
that's how it was. People, when I didn't know, people came in and they showed me. People came in and helped me. So if people will come in and help me and show me the way, I'm sure that's what God want me to do, is turn around and help somebody else. He didn't tell me to charge nobody nothing. He said that we can help. That's right. He said, "Thank you, bless your healing process."
Oh,
That's
thank you. Thank you.
what Miss Veronica said. So, if it wasn't so late, we would bring Miss Veronica on so we can kind of have a little talk with her. But we can
Yes.
always have another part because people are messaging me about you. We can maybe before the end of the month, because it's still the awareness month, we can come back on, talk about how we need to do more fundraising for you,
Okay.
how we need to get Lizzie and Larry Bear out there and just get your name out there so people will know. Because if you never say nothing and we never put it out in the atmosphere that you need $10,000 right now, not tomorrow, we need it right now so we can send that check all the way up to the toy factory so they can start
Yes.
making Lizzie and Larry Bear. But that's how faith works. So we have to put it out in the atmosphere and we have to start working because God is going to do what he's going to do because there's a need for what you are doing. So, like you said, it wasn't by chance that Lady Gail could not make it. It wasn't by chance you were on the panel with all of us that want to help you. It's your time now. That's all it is. It's your time.
Thank you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me on. I
Oh,
so
thank
appreciate it
you. Thank
and helping me
you.
share my story. I so
Okay.
appreciate you.
Oh no, we appreciate you coming on because I know how hard it is for you to really talk about that and to move forward. Did you get any therapy or you just dealt with it yourself or in the church? How did you were able to move on? And like I said, I look at your face, you're so beautiful. You have the most
Um,
beautiful smile. You said y'all didn't see everything I went through, but I mean, even before all that, I just didn't understand you're such a beautiful person with beautiful
thank you.
hair. Everything is so beautiful. What
Thank
it,
you.
that's a whole nother story, but God knew and God allowed it. We're just so thankful that we met you and you are here with us. We're so amazed. So I will be talking to you and we could do another show because I think we have what 2 more Mondays left or 1 more Monday. I think it's two,
I
isn't it?
think too. I
Two.
think.
Okay. Yeah, and we can really push your initiative, what you need to do, or whatever's on your heart. It is totally up to you. If you want to do it, fine. If you don't want to do it, we're fine too. We just want to help and assist you.
Thank you so much. I so
Okay.
appreciate it. And thank you to everybody that's on for your prayers and support. I appreciate it.
Right, right. And they're loving you, Miss Liz, because they're inboxing me. That's what you see me looking for. They're just dinging away. So I told them that I'm going to retype it in here, but all of your information is on the bottom, and I'm going to make sure it gets to all of the platforms. And you can, that's what you see. You can share it from my page so it will get to your page, and you can share it to all your platforms and all of your people also.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, all right.
Awesome.
Well, thank everybody for
Thank
coming
you.
on. We're so thankful that you showed Miss Liz
Thank
some
you.
love. And we're going to
Yes.
help
Thank
her with
you.
Larry and Lizzie Bear. And we're going to wear our bracelets here. And if she's up to it, we can do it again next Monday. We can have some more come on and we can speak about what can we do to get you to where you need to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
Thank
you, Miss
you.
Liz. You have a very blessed night and
Thank
thank you.
you.
You're welcome. Bye
Bye.
bye.